At a 2-year high in some places, people are paying more than $1.40 a litre. Independent MHA Paul Lane is calling for the province to eliminate the 16.5-cent gas tax that was implemented in the 2016 budget. Mr. Lane, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here, Heather.
So you're calling for the Premier to step in and reduce the gas tax. Can you tell me why?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I think that gas prices are totally out of control. And we are seeing parts of the province now. I know on the West Coast, I was shown some prices today. I think it was up to about $1.41, $1.42. I've been told that on the Bonavista Peninsula we're even up to $1.48. So, I mean, it's time now for the Premier to take some action. We know in the budget that the Minister of Finance in her budget speech said that the additional 16.5 cents tax on a litre gasoline was just a temporary measure that would be reviewed. Of course, just before Christmas, she did a review and determined that there would be no change. But, you know, given the price of where gas is to right now and the amount of hardship that is being that is taking on people in Newfoundland and Labrador, I think the time has come to reduce that tax. If the Finance Minister is not willing to do so, then I believe the Premier, as leader of this province, has a responsibility to do so.
So talking about that strain on people that you just mentioned, as an MHA, what are you hearing from your constituents about how much this gas tax is I guess, hurting people's wallets?
Well, there's no doubt. I hear on a daily basis from people, whether it be at the supermarket, whether it be via email or social media. I'm hearing from constituents and people from all throughout Newfoundland and Labrador, quite frankly, who are being impacted by all taxes that were implemented by the new government. Certainly the gas tax is a big factor, and it's been growing as we've seen. It's now up to a level which I believe is totally unsustainable for people. And, you know, I think when we look at gas tax, we reach a point with the tax where there's only a certain threshold whereby, you know, people make that decision that they can no longer afford to utilize vehicles the way they once did, and they're going to cut down their consumption. And you reach a point, and I think we're gone way beyond that point, where people have decided, you know, that they just can't use their vehicles as much as they normally do. They're going to cut back on their consumption, and then you have to look at what is that actually doing to the coffers in terms of the money coming in. And so then it gets to a point where raising the gas tax too high sort of defeats itself. And I think that we're gone way beyond that point now.
And how much would you like to see this gas tax go down?
Well, you know, I haven't actually, you know, come up with an absolute number in my mind. I said from day one, my thought on the gas tax from day one is that we should have established sort of a ceiling price for gasoline. And once it reached that point, then as the price of gas went up, the actual gas tax would go down to offset it. I think that's really what should have been done from day one. Certainly right now we're looking at 33 cents on a gallon of gasoline, and then tax on that, which is, like I said, is just totally unsustainable for people. And you have to realize people are, you know, a lot of people, a vehicle is a necessity for them. I mean, given the fact that, like in lots of parts, in many parts of Newfoundland and Labrador now, there were clinics and other healthcare facilities shut down. People have to travel for healthcare. We've seen a number of changes as a result of Budget 2016 to the busing for school children. More people are having to use that, use their vehicles instead of buses. And of course, a lot of people have to commute for work and travel for work. So, you know, a vehicle is very much a necessity for people. And the price of gas now has just gone totally through the roof. And it's gone, like I said, beyond any reasonable, sustainable level. That combined with all the other taxes that have been, you know, thrown onto people in Newfoundland and Labrador by this government. And, you know, people are suffering. I'm hearing from them every day. I know all MHAs are. And it's time for the Premier to step in and take some action.
Well, Mr. Paul Lane, thank you so much for joining us. We're out of time. Looking forward to talking to you again in the new year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year to you.
To you, too.
And all the people in Newfoundland and Labrador.